Oh yeah. What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka who keeps sucking on these washcloths, aka put some chocolate with the peanut butter you got interracial. What does that even mean? AKA the Komaki Tiger Dropper, AKA the undisputed, undefeated, uncontested social distancing champion, AKA the nigga lip master, bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 158. Damn. Let me echo it. Hopefully it won't fuck me up. Damn. Last episode from the place that I've come to know and love for all these years. Bittersweet, but definitely the last episode from this place. As we moving on up. Wish I had the George Jefferson sound, sample, but I unfortunately don't. I didn't prepare. Damn it, I forgot my air conditioner. Hold on. Once. Here we go. Oh, sorry about that. Apologies. Yes, last episode from this place I've come to know and love all these years, ever since coming to LA. Shouts out to my roommate, road dog, nigga, Haley. Hey man, hey, none but love, man, love and respect. My other roommate, Taka, none but love, none but respect. Yeah. It's weird. It's so weird. It feels, obviously it's an end, but, for better things, more or less, Sorry to get all sentimental, but I'll put so much blood, sweat, and tears in this room, creating everything, fidgeting, turmoil, whatever you call it. So, you excuse me if I just I'm totally joking, but today's date is June 17th 2022. Damn. So pretty much the thick of Key 3 aka Summer Games Fest has pretty much settled, I'd say, for the most part, with the exception of this huge bang earlier, well, technically yesterday. I'm forgetting today. It's currently technically Friday. So yeah, I am recording this late at night. Had a couple of tasks to get done beforehand. So hey, when I get around to it, I get around to it. Yeah. So, man, again, also housekeeping yet again, just to let listeners know, this is going to be the last episode for a while in terms of me moving to a new place. So, I anticipate at least 2 weeks of downtime, so at least we'll be without this silky buttery voice. Is that how you define it? I don't know. I personally don't even know how to describe my voice, to be honest. I don't know. But at least I'm anticipating 2 weeks of downtime of that you will be without me. I know, I know it's tough. I know it's. I can hear the Michael Jackson like fans screaming, trying to flash me. Boobies. I don't really want to. Let me stop. that really was what Michael Jackson was like. He, the girls was flashing him. He's like, boobies. No, boobies. No, they're ignorant. Uh, that's the best I could do. That's as low as I can, or high as I can. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me do the.
No, the no boobies. Stop being ignorant, nipples.
Oh, I love this thing. Hey, it lets me go where I can't go naturally. You know, it's good for something. You know what I mean? So yeah, just FYI, if you don't see an episode next week, you know why. Did that rhyme? I think it did. I forgot what I rhymed it with though. Oh man. So, without further ado, let's stop the dilly dallying and get right into it. Cause man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We going out with a bang. This last episode, we going out with a bang. Yeah, let's just get it started. It's cold turkey. Raw. More ways than one. Hey now. First topic of discussion. So, literally right before the Final Fantasy 25th 25th anniversary event started. Of course, we got a little bit of that leaky seepage, which of what came of that. It was from a Twitter, I guess, somewhat of a renowned leaker that I'm not familiar with, but has a reputation. The snitch revealed or gave us a little tease of what to expect at the 25th anniversary event, which was basically a picture of course, Zack and Cloud with Aerith all together. Well, at least, from said ending scene, I guess spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You had 2 years. If you haven't played it now, it's your own fault. I'm just saying. And if you're interested in this 25th anniversary event, you should know. Anyway, yeah. So basically, it was a hint that it was maybe something Crisis Core related, considering the focus is on Zack and pretty much all the characters that technically were in Crisis Core. Yeah. So, lo and behold, fast forward to the FF7 event. Started off, and it's a lot of pressure because they said it's like gonna be like 10 minutes. So I'm like, I think a lot of us, myself included, like, how much can they fit in 10 minutes? With all these announced, if at least I think a lot of people, of course, wanted Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, and a lot of people, at least now that it was brought to our attention, wanted Crisis Core. Ever Crisis wanted that. So just very curious to see if that was actually going to transpire, be a thing. Come fast forward to the event now. I think, what did they start off with? They started off with just a weird like summary of Final Fantasy VII as its own like subgenre. It feels like, where they touched on Advent Children, I think the original, before Crisis, which was like the obscure like mobile exclusive game for like a super ancient mobile device. Um, Crisis Core, and I think they led up, got eventually got to seven remake. So did that. Then what else? They went to after that. I think they showed, I believe, Ever Crisis. Yeah, I think it was Ever Crisis they showed, and it looks. I mean, it looks very good. It looks very close to the original Final Fantasy VII in terms of the feel, vibe, movement. The overall essence feels very close to the original Final Fantasy VII, which I think a lot of people, including myself, would definitely want to play. But still, the current gotcha is that it's only mobile. It's apparently still exclusive to mobile, which is a horrible, just a horrible mistake in of itself. Hopefully, at some point, it comes to console, because I mean this will definitely be a perfect opportunity to bring it to Switch. Which obviously can't run Final Fantasy VII Part 2, or I mean Final Fantasy VII in general. I guess that technically doesn't count because I think PS5 has some exclusivity, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, so yeah, that's my biggest gripe. So it for those that may not know, Ever Crisis is apparently is gonna be more of a inline 1-to-1 quote unquote remake of Final Fantasy VII, including a lot of the various other obscure titles like Crisis Core and Ever Crisis and things like that. I think even Advent Children to some extent. So that is that is very disappointing. I was like, please announce ports to the consoles, and sure enough, no. Ports to the consoles. Wait, did you mean be able to play the beta? Huh? Did you mean be able to play the beta on mobile within the next coming months or something? No, we did. Are you sure? Because that's what you're gonna get. And I was like, and I think there's still hope. Maybe after they churn out each of these chapters, where it seems like they're probably gonna nickel and dime you for each segment, like Ever Crisis, Crisis Core. They're each their own segment, and maybe they might release it within twos or something like that. But I guess we'll see. A bit of a bummer. It's just they're really gonna keep this to mobile. That is at least has me wary in of itself that they might actually, do those nasty microtransactions and just dirty up this game to just a asinine amount. But we'll see. Keeping my head up, keeping the positivity, but it's not looking great. So then after that, they freaking showed First Soldier, which is basically for those that may not know or forgot, the battle royale spin, basically Fortnite in Final Fantasy VII. Very poorly, if I were to poorly explain it. I mean, at the same time, that is pretty accurate. Basically, yeah, if you mix Fortnite and Final Fantasy VII, you get First Soldier. They show I think a collaboration with what is it called? Phantasy Star, I want to say. A couple of costumes. This could have totally been its own thing. They didn't have to put this in there, but whatever. So, I guess I don't know. Anyway, so then things start picking up steam after well, speaking of that, I think it might have been before that, maybe after, I don't know. I think it was actually after. I think it was what was next. So speaking of Steam, they finally announced Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade being ported to the best PC platform, Steam, not this Epic Game Store crap. You could be gone. I just want that. I want that Steam. I just want that Steam support. And what do you know? Alongside with the Steam port that actually is released, I think today. It also is Steam Deck verified. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I can cross dress Cloud on the go. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. So that was great. Definitely plan to dive into that at some point. Hopefully they fixed all the issues that arised with the initial Epic Game Store port. So hopefully they ironed out all the kinks in that regard. So, yeah, yeah. And then, of course, after that, oh, you thought they was done within 10 minutes? No, not yet. So then after that, of course, the rumors, which I referred to earlier, seem to have been true. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core reunion. Let me do it. Final Fantasy Crisis Core reunion. That sounds a little too nasty. But Final Fantasy VII Remake Crisis Core reunion announced, confirmed, at least from what they showed, at least graphics wise, exceptional. Just looks fantastic. Literally looks like they literally use the same engine as Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's fantastic. As a huge fan of Crisis Core, it's weird. I think the reception feels very mixed. I don't know, or maybe it's just the negativity being loud. Let me see what Crisis Core is on Metacritic. Of course, not the most accurate, but I mean, it is somewhat of a relatively, I don't know, insightful metric to go by. What is the reception? 83. 83 on Metacritic. Best PSP game of 2008, number 5. Most discussed PSP game of 2008. Most shared PSP game of 2000. I don't know if that's something you want to tout. I guess you could kind of tout that as a flex. But either way, fantastic game. I obviously, people who never bought into a PSP have been alienated all this time. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm excited about, looking forward to. People who have yet to experience this game actually experience it and feel the turmoil and pain that I felt playing this. So yeah, I think Crisis Core is fantastic. I am a Crisis Core apologist, even though I don't think I need to apologize. People just, hey, every to each their own, their opinions, but I thoroughly enjoyed Crisis Core. I played it multiple times. You damn Skippy, I'm about to play it yet again, with improved graphics. I'm about to get gacked. I can't wait to get gacked. I think that's for those that don't know, that's the ongoing meme for Genesis, the Genesis character in Crisis Core, who I believe is depicted by I want to say it's a pop star popular in Japan. What is this? Gecht Genesis. Yeah, so I think he's a real. Yeah, Gecht is the Japanese voice actor for Genesis, Rapsodos, and Crisis Core, and played a role in live action in the front of the green screen for Durgis. Oh, really? He did? That's cool. Yeah, I think he's a popular Japanese artist. Pretty sure. Yeah. Japanese rock artist and actor. So apparently they must have got the rights and renegotiated or whatever, because he was definitely in the trailer a couple times. He was in the Ever Crisis trailer. They like literally for like more than 3 seconds had a still of Genesis there. So it's definitely evident they're implement them in there in that story wise. And then of course showed him and is untainted in the Crisis Core reunion trailer. So I'm ready to get gecked. I'm ready to get gecked. Who's ready to get gecked? That sounds kind of weird. I mean, hey, I'm ready. You ready to get gecked? I'm ready to get gecked. I don't even know what that means. Or is it gacked? I'm ready to. Who ready to get gacked? I'm ready to get gacked. Are you ready to get gacked? I'm ready to get gacked. Yeah. That was a little too raunchy for my liking. But yeah, Crisis Core getting the love and appreciation that it deserves, because it's a shame people been sleeping on that game, and obviously, you release a game exclusively on PSP, intense alienation or odds of it being very alienated and people never touching it, because specifically is portable. So it's good. Zach gets his shine, gets his time to shine. Even though he probably is gonna be very somewhat extent gonna be included in part 2. So yeah, at least from a gameplay standpoint, it seems like a lot of stuff seems the same. It doesn't seem like they necessarily change anything. It definitely feels like a remaster, because like a lot of the voice acting seemed to be intact or very similar to the original work. I guess the one glaring thing that hopefully changes, I'm a little concerned about, honestly, is Zach's new voice actor, because he does not sound the same for sure, which obviously is a part of their, I think, a character's identity, being used to him, hearing him all this time. But yeah, this character, I don't know, he sounds like just a weak dude that just is here. I just coincidentally managed to get here. I'm just trying to save Shinra, Genova, save the Earth's Mako energy. That's me, Zach. So we'll see. Maybe the voice will grow on me. Maybe it's an acclimation period where I'll eventually accept it or whatever. But we'll see. So yeah, Crisis Core remastered. Yes, it's coming out pretty much on everything. Switch, Xbox, PS5, PC. I do find that kind of messed up, because well, at least Xbox specifically getting shunned, because like, oh yeah, you can have Crisis Core. Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Ooh, no, we can't do that. But you can have Final Fantasy VII, the original one from PlayStation. But oh, you want Final Fantasy VII Remake on your console, your Xbox console? Ew, I don't know about that. So we'll see, man. This console exclusivity thing is very peculiar, to say the least. So it definitely seems like Sony was throwing them millions, right at them, just being disrespectful, throwing millions right in their face. And it's like, so we're they just do that, so we're exclusive now, right? Square's like, all right, I guess. So yeah, well, at least people outside the PlayStation family get some stuff. So there's that. But yes, Crisis Core remastered. I'll say it again. Don't sleep on this. I mean, obviously, people who are hyped and anticipating remake part two are, I think, definitely going to be very tempted to get this because it was announced to come out this winter. This winter, so it's weird. That's a weird thing. I think we'll talk about in a bit as well. But Crisis Core reunion confirmed. Yes, give it to me right now. And then to end it off, to give us that nightcap that we so desperately need, Yashinori Katase gave us that final, that he gave us that dessert straight up. He gave us that strawberry cheesecake with the whipped cream on it, fresh, Cheesecake Factory like, and boy, oh. I savored every morsel, let me tell you. So, yeah, we cut to the trailer. They show freaking Cloud walking on what I believe is what is it called? The crater, something crater. Basically, the flashback of, I think, right around the same disc start location where for the old games, where Cloud goes back in flashback style, goes back, reminisces about how he was with actually Sephiroth, and then they show Sephiroth coming in the picture, so both of them walking. So pretty much that definitely confirms. We'll definitely if the original game and this trailer is any indication, that we gonna get motherfucking playable Sephiroth going just basically touch people with his finger and they die instantly. That's gonna be great. Oh yes, that's gonna be great. Just Sephiroth just looks at people and they instantly die. That'd be funny. That if anybody could do it, Square can. So it was pretty much that, and that was it. They did during the trailer, while they showed the segment of Cloud and Sephiroth talking at something crater. I forgot what it's called. Let me look it up. Let's see. Sephiroth flashback. I think, is it technically Nibelheim? I think it was close to Nibelheim, but I think for fans know what I mean. Where, basically they start, I think they're at Nibelheim, and then they eventually come to some point where they reflect. So at least going by the end of intermission, the intermission DLC, it definitely obviously suggests that the whole crew is going to Nibelheim, and then that's probably going to be the start of part two. Will be at Nibelheim, and then they'll get to that same segment where Cloud will reminisce, and we will get a flashback scene showing Cloud and Sephiroth working together, before shit pops off, which is going to be fantastic. Give it all to me. Put it all in my mouth. Every last bit. Thank you. Yeah. So what else? Oh yeah, of course. We got confirmation of the next title, at least because it was this weird limbo purgatory of, okay, how is this structure gonna work? Is it gonna be 4 parts? Is it gonna be 5 parts? Probably that's a little crazy, but how many parts is it gonna be, and what's the naming structure of the game? So finally got confirmation that is gonna be called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah, I dig it. Rebirth. I think it implies a lot of stuff. Actually. Let's put the tinfoil hat on real quick. I think the one biggest thing is that, uh, especially considering the dialogue during the reveal trailer, is that it was, I think it was definitely suggesting that Aerith won't die, or she might die, and maybe some way, some shape, or form, she might come back. Maybe it being that whole timeline rift thing. Who knows? I fucking Nomura of Kingdom Hearts is working on this game, so I feel like that alone, I think any and everything is off the table. To is up for grabs to be tampered with and fucked with as a fan of the previous games for sure. So that's going to be very interesting to see if, obviously, one, if they kill, probably the biggest known spoiler of all time, next to Darth Vader being Luke's father. But yeah, if Aerith would die, if somebody maybe dies in place of Aerith, or if maybe Aerith dies, and maybe considering the explanation of Mako energy and stuff, that maybe she somehow comes back, or they communicate with us that, you know, she is actually an existential being that is still with us, even though she's physically not with us, or whatever. Who knows? I feel like anything is possible for sure at this point, considering the ending of Remake. So with that being said, there was a lot of other details that came out as well. Yeah, so they did confirm that the series is going to be 3 parts, which is fantastic. I think it's literally so that at least suggests that the splits are fairly going to be. I can't even really say that considering the ending of Remake, but that the endings are the structure is going to be somewhat similar, maybe to some very loose extent, to the structure of the original game, but that's not even guaranteed really. They definitely probably will utilize a lot of the material from those games, but still, I think everything is off the board, or up for grabs, if you will, when it comes to that, considering again the ending of Remake. So, and I guess I don't know why I'm being coy about it. Again, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't played or beaten Final Fantasy VII Remake, you had 2 years. You had 2 years. It's your own fault. Okay. But I got kids. I don't care. So that is cool. I clearly don't deserve to be a parent. Yeah. So what was I saying? It was something about them. Oh yeah, the parts. So yeah, part 1 obviously Remake, part 2 Rebirth, and part 3, which is still yet to be named, but it definitely clearly by the first 2, and even the Crisis Core remake upcoming, which is called Reunion, is definitely very evident that it's got to be something that starts with an R. So Rebirth, what could at least my top ones, Final Fantasy 7, let me do it. Final Fantasy, hold on. Final Fantasy 7 Redemption. Hopefully, did I close out of fuck? Hopefully I'm not echoing, but I will. Final Fantasy 7 regurgitation. Final Fantasy 7 regurgitation. Oh, that'd be funny. I think one of the popular ones is my bad. Final Fantasy 7 Revengeance. I don't know. Revengeance feels too corny for me. Final Fantasy 7 Returnal. Final Fantasy 7 Returnal. They had a crossover. Final Fantasy VII Resuscitation. I messed up. Final Fantasy VII Resuscitation. The conviction I had with it made it pretty convincing. I'm like, oh, I can get doing that, but I'm like, resuscitation. That's a little bit on the corny side. I need one more good one. Final Fantasy VII Recuperation. Basically anything with a re is up for game. So I guess we'll see. We'll see when time presents itself. One interesting tidbit from some of the tweets from the Final Fantasy VII Twitter account, which were messages from the directors and producers and such, which they each had their own messages, but at least one of them definitely mentioned that like we have a team working on the third game already, which is very, very encouraging for sure. That like we actually this is not any other Final Fantasy project where they, you know, oh yeah, we'll be done in 2 years, 3 years pass. Oh yeah, we'll be done in 2 more years, 2 years pass. Yeah, we delayed the game for another year, and then it eventually comes out, which was technically the span of like 7 years. So it seems like it's on track, and that's another thing too. They did technically announce a release window, which is apparently going to be winter 2023, and that's as a reference of what I mentioned earlier. That's a weird. That's a little suspect. Don't like. Okay, winter 2023. So it can't. That doesn't mean next year. Even though that technically is probably the majority of where winter is at. So technically it's 2023, but technically it's generally towards the end of 2023. That's at least what implies that it's, let's say, winter. And you know what? They're gonna make me look up when does winter technically start? Okay, winter starts December 21st, 2022, and spans, so is from December 21st, 2022 to March 20th, 2023. That's technically was generally considered winter, supposedly. So if we, you know, deduce that, then that would mean that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth would and should technically release December, let's say 21st, probably 22nd, December 22nd, 2023. Unless they delay it, then they'll openly communicate that to, you know, be that as it is. So weird time, because I think that throws people off, because it's like that's literally before the start of a new year. So it's like, can you really say that? Is that really fair to say? I'd say just, I don't know. Just had to get that out. What else? I think that's really it. At least I think I hit all the really big points I wanted to discuss. Hype though. Freaking can't wait to play that whole recap scene. Nibelheim, Tifa in the little weird cowboy outfit, her dad, and of course the infamous moment. Maybe I misremember it. Maybe the memes have ruined me to some extent. But what was it? Shut up! I have to see Mother, or something like. What is the damn meme? I need to know. Sephiroth Mother's Day meme. Yeah, out of my out of my way. I'm going to see my mother. And then he has like flowers and a card and stuff. That's sweet. Out of my way. I'm going to see my mother. So yeah, man, hype. Hype, hype, hype. That made my Thursday, let me tell you. Thursday was off to a great start then and there. For sure. So overall, I mean, that was some of the best 10 minutes I've seen in a while. And I mean, obviously there's means to trump that, but you know what I mean. Fantastic. I did not expect that to happen within the span of 10 minutes. Oh yeah, I guess what do you call it? The secondary choice runner up, honorable mention to Final Fantasy VII merchandise. They took up like 30 seconds of the show to show you some you want a Final Fantasy VII remake Buster Sword clock, huh? Want a Final Fantasy VII Buster Sword clock, huh? Want a Final Fantasy VII literal bangle to wear on your wrist? What else was it? Want a Final Fantasy VII remake ring to put on your finger? Want a Final Fantasy VII Roche Play Arts Kai action figure to fully explore your weird person, weird rivalry dude fantasy? Let me stop. So at least that was minimal, but you know. Overall, man, I have to say this is literally the best aspect of E3 or the key 3 so far for sure. Hands down, at least for me personally. I'm like, yes, this is the biggest thing I wanted, and we got it. We got it. We got a trailer to salivate over and overanalyze for the next few years until maybe we get actual gameplay of Red X. Oh man, they know what they gotta do. At least the next trailer gameplay we get, we need to see Vincent be Vincent. We need to see Vincent. We need that Vincent gameplay. Show him. Oh man, I forgot about it. Just him morphing in a beast and stuff. Oh man, that's gonna be so cool. I can't wait to see how they do it. They in this franchise is in good hands, and I can't wait. Vincent gonna morph into Frankenstein and oh my god, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be with this graphical fidelity. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot. The one other aspect that is very important, I think, for a lot of people is that what is it? It apparently is only going to be PS5 exclusive. So looks like they finally are doing away with previous gen, which personally I am very thankful for, because I mean, I understand consoles are hard to get, but at the same time, it's got to be some point where you got to start cutting severing this generation in order to have the other generation benefit, which again goes back to the fundamentals of if a game is still with a previous gen family, it is more than likely 100% gonna be held back based off that alone, because I think I mentioned it before, but the general upgrade methodology is essentially, let's develop for the weakest console first and then upscale in order to maintain compatibility and just consistency across platforms. So I'm all for that. The greater fidelity, and yes, please. One interesting observation though I found interesting is that they specifically said that we catered Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so that people who didn't play remake can actually still enjoy this one or actually jump into this one just fine, which I thought was weird that they would say that. But when you consider again the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake, it does make sense in that context. So, which is likely the case. So, man, oh, damn, I really gushed on that. I mean, obviously so, because Final Fantasy VII is great and it was wonderful. This is a fantastic kickoff and celebration of the 25th anniversary of one of my favorite RPGs of all time, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Final Fantasy VII, I guess in general. Quote. Yes. Let's move on, cause I could keep going. I really could. Next topic of discussion. Let's see. Hit these. Xbox Game Showcase happened this past Sunday. Had show was pretty interesting. I'm not even gonna hold you. Not even gonna hold you right now. It didn't really speak to me personally. Did not really speak to me personally. A lot of the games didn't really grab me. So I guess let's just cherry pick, at least from definitely the notable stuff from the show. Probably, let's see, Forza Motorsport, which I believe is essentially rebooting. Yeah, so they showed some interesting, of course, cars and details and stuff like that, but ray tracing and all that good stuff. But I thought it was interesting. What else stood out? Oh, Diablo 4, that actually being announced and coming to consoles and stuff. It looks like this game will now be open world, which is dope. Couch co-op, of course, that classic isometric camera view is still intact. But yeah, this definitely looked pretty interesting from what I saw. This was weird. Team Ninja's Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which I thought at least initially was Neo, but actually isn't. It's more catered towards the Chinese lore and history. So seemed pretty interesting. I guess we didn't really see too much gameplay, but definitely my interest is peaked there. Plague Tale Requiem with the rats. The rats are now, they have multiplied. They're more rats. So Overwatch 2 is I think I thought they announced that before, but it is definitely free to play, or is it free to start? I forgot that's one of the new keywords now, where you can start the game, play it, but maybe when you reach a certain level, you can't. You have to buy. I forgot. I'm not sure how it is, but I believe it is free to play. Either way, which I guess is subjective. It could be either or depending on your perspective of it. They released or showed the new hero, the Wastelander. No, who is it? Junker Queen. She was showed in the trailer. So Junker Queen is the new hero. She seems very similar to Orisa in a lot of ways, at least from what I saw in the gameplay. At least a lot of her attacks, and she is a tank, of course. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I think they announced the beta as well. There's signups. I think they went live yesterday. Also, what else? Oh yeah, they did show. What is it called? Bethesda with the worlds and the not Fallout. looks similar to No Man's Sky. Starfield, they showed us a fairly in-depth trailer showing some gameplay, some of the characters you'll be talking to in that locked camera angle when you ever speak to them. Looked interesting. It definitely had heavy No Man's Sky vibes. Gameplay wasn't dragging me in too much. It feels like a Bethesda game when it comes to that, because obviously they've had that reputation where generally, at least, their gameplay doesn't feel as responsive. But I think this could turn around before it releases fully. You can like scan material, rocks, and stuff. That's at least what I was able to at least get from it. They did definitely reveal that you can build your own ship and, go to your heart's content in that respect. But you can also fly the ship, as well as they also showed dog fighting in space, which is pretty damn dope. Is that really it from that? Yeah, that's at least what caught me. A Hollow Knight Silk Song. They at least showed it, still no release date, which I think people have been definitely clamoring for, at least from what I've seen. What else? Oh, Rick and Morty's, the developers or the creators of Rick and Morty making a sci-fi shooter called High on Life, where at least the plot seems to be that people are using these aliens are using people as drugs, hence the word High on Life. Yeah. And basically hilarity ensues with these guns that like are creatures, like, so they stare at you but they can shoot stuff. So I think that definitely leads to a recipe of interesting things in that regard. Naraka Blade Point coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, which I thought was very interesting. Was not expecting that, but lo and behold, true. I've yet to play it, but now I'm definitely encouraged to play it. So, I'm looking forward to that. What else? Fallout 76, new expansion. I think, is it the Pit? Something Pit related, like that maybe went, or at least is attempting to grab people in by saying, "Hey, this is just like the Pit for Fallout 3, but in 76." I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Then probably this is one of the biggest ones, I'd say. Persona 5 coming to Xbox. Finally. My bad. Wrong clip. Let me try it again. Persona 5 coming to the Xbox. Finally. There we go. Finally, Persona is released from the clutches of console exclusivity that is PlayStation. So what was interesting about this announcement was that it was confirmed, Persona 5, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden, I want to say, are coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. But I guess one indicator was that they're also coming for PC, which, I think a day after they were able to confirm that these games are also coming to PC, which I think a lot of people are clamoring for as well. And yeah, I guess that's a weird timed exclusivity of announcement or whatever you want to call it, which I thought was interesting tidbit of that announcement. But finally, Persona 5, Persona coming to anything other than PlayStation now, or actually coming to stuff outside of PlayStation. So you love to see it. And probably what was the biggest announcement, which is more of a confirmation of a lot of the rumors circulating around, that Hideo Kojima is working with Xbox on a new project that utilizes the cloud, which Yeah, I obviously Hideo has that foresight, has that vision that I don't think a lot. I think a lot of us aren't really seeing, but apparently the capabilities are there for sure. So, at least one rumor is that this is like more than likely, at least the nickname that at least been circulating around for Hideo Kojima's next project, which is apparently going to be horror based, but supposedly it's going to be overdose, overdose, and be called overdose, and supposedly be this weird cloud based game, likely exclusive coming from Hideo. So that'll be interesting to see for sure. Um, gonna be weird. Hideo doing a project with Microsoft. It's gonna be interesting to see there. So, yeah, I think that pretty much covered at least everything I wanted to touch on for the Xbox showcase. Again, if I had to grade it, definitely a C. Just nothing necessarily spoke out to me outside of the Resident Evil stuff, but I feel like it wasn't necessarily that significant enough there. So, moving on. Moving on. Capcom showcase dropped as well, and this was a pretty packed week actually. This was a Monday. Um, man, I think we got a lot of what we were looking for, and some of our questions answered for sure. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. We got at least confirmation of Gore Magala coming back. Yes. They showed a couple of the variants or subspecies. I believe that's the official term within Monster Hunter lore. Subspecies, and I thought it was some other monster. Who was it? It was some damn monster. It was some monster. Oh, it was some monster from Monster Hunter Frontier. Espinas. Espinas. I guess his gimmick is thorns. So that's cool. They bring it in, like, at least for people in the West, a game that they've never played. I think is a pretty nice touch there. So that's cool. Oh yeah, they showed not Dino Crisis, the game that isn't Dino Crisis. I don't really feel like naming it or giving it a name, but it is, if you must know, it is called Exo Primal. Yeah, I wasn't really too jazzed about the game. Don't get me wrong, I'm interested to play a demo if they have it, but I don't know. At least from what I've seen and played now, I don't see that changing necessarily. In Dragon's Dogma, they said, hey, we're here to announce that we're going to have an announcement later in the week. See you then. Basically, at least what it felt like. And yeah, it was worth it though, technically. It's like, yeah, watch this 10-minute documentary and then we'll announce Dragon's Dogma at the end. Here you go. Okay. All right. You have my attention. So we didn't get any gameplay. It just really was a recap of the series and like the developers' philosophies and things like that. So then after that, we got Resident Evil Village. Boy, I'm very excited for what they showed us today, or no, last Monday. We got shown, what is it called? We got shown the new DLC, which is, I think, Ashes of Rose? Rose of Ashes? Damn it. But yeah, that's the DLC. Is starring Rose, who was at the end of Resident Evil 8. And see how that transpires. And apparently that's going to be third person, which leads me to my next topic, which is that it will have um, third person is coming to the main game with this update. That's included with the update. So essentially, you can just look at yourself in pain while you're going through it now, rather than, try to envision your character's face, what it looks like, which I'm all down for personally. Give it to me right now. Yeah, I think that is. Oh yeah, mercenary mode, new orders, where basically they let you play a certain characters from the game, like Heisenberg, um, of course Lady D. Why it wouldn't be complete without it, and Chris Redfield. So that'll be cool little mode, maybe to keep you distracted there. What else? Oh, okay. Resident Evil 4, we actually got we got like 3 seconds of Chris walking in his little workout suit. So that was cute. That was really cute. Leon just being Leon, just walking and just got that expensive coat, just walking. I don't know, what am I doing? What am I even saying? Yeah, but at least it definitely looked interesting. Can't wait to see more. See their take on it, if it'll even if it'll stand a candle against RE. Well, you know the rest. Oh yeah, then probably the next big announcement to hold us over is that they did announce that the next gen upgrades went live that same day. Good old Shadow Drop. So we got, at least I got the updates to try messing around with them, and I guess which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, 7, 2, and 3 all getting upgrades. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, that was pretty much the Capcom event. Was very satisfied. We technically, after the fact, got Dragon's Dogma 2, which is great. Sunbreak, which is coming out soon. Village, where you can finally play in third person. I'm just saying, I have to touch on that. Like, third person, man, is totally changes my whole perspective on the game, which I obviously can't take credit for, but I know a lot of people requested it regardless anyway. But I, at least when I was able to get that rare opportunity to play test this game before it actually released to the masses, was that, like, that was one of the biggest things I asked, like, because there was a group where it was a group of people who didn't like 7, that came to this test group, and that was like the biggest scrutiny point that I and as well as the other play testers had, was that we want to have a third person camera angle. And I I explicitly said like, hey, if I think even if this is your original vision to have the first person camera, why don't we just you could just release it as DLC, and I think a lot of people would buy it or whatever. Lo and behold, we get it as DLC. So I'm all for it. You can look at Ethan's very blank, lifeless face, even though they was doing this weird thing where like, trying not to show his face, but it's like, you can look up a lot of videos on YouTube showing his face. So it's like, that kind of defeats the point, but I still get it. And of course, obviously, people are gonna try to mod him out with another character's voice. So I don't know. I feel like I went on a tangent there that was irrelevant, maybe partially drowsy. The drowsy thoughts being intertwined with this. So this is gonna be an interesting episode in of itself from that standpoint. So it's like passion and just random thoughts maybe somewhat mixing. So I apologize in advance if that's happening. I'm starting to catch myself in that that angle. So yeah. So overall, very very satisfied with the Capcom showcase, with the exception of the game that isn't Dino Crisis and should not exist because it's trying to be a game that should be Dino Crisis. But I digress. I digress. Moving on. Deadly Premonition. I know you guys love this game. Very niche game. Based off, after the cult hit, that was the first one. They wanted to try to like Strighten twice in a bottle, which I think. I don't know if it necessarily fell short for me, at least, but I enjoyed it. So out of nowhere, Deadly Premonition 2 live on Steam. So for I think a lot of people that were put off by the game being on Switch, which it was very held back for sure. Finally, it's on PC, and I guess the reception seems to be mixed from what I'm hearing. People that have bought the game and tried testing it out in the forums, that like it's like I think the biggest complaint is that you can't use your controller with the game. Apparently, I guess take that with a grain of salt, but this one dude literally cannot play on a controller because of something with his hands. I don't know. that could suggest a lot of stuff, but either way, yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to try it out, but part of me is hesitant because like if it isn't, then I have to try to return it, and that's a whole process. So I don't know. Deadly Premonition 2. Hey, you got another chance if you hated the frame rate for the Switch version and you have a capable card. Hey, try the Steam version. Why don't you? Just defy all odds, Yeah, with that being said, I think that concludes all the news for this week. Let's get into what I've been watching. Which has been, of course, Obi-Wan, Star Wars Obi-Wan. This episode was very interesting, where basically they're getting trapped in a base where they find Obi-Wan's location and they're coming to get him, and they do this weird tactics of convincing, trying to get the Night Sister to fart. The Night Sister to fart. Night Sister to fight Darth Maul. Darth Vader. And that didn't necessarily work well. So, have to see the episode to get that out. But it's pretty cool. Like the reveal that we got. I won't necessarily spoil it there. But yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Miss Marvel. I have to say, definitely a much better episode than the premiere. Things were picking up. You see Miss Marvel trying to earn her powers and all that good stuff. That was a very good episode. Very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Boys season 3. I did catch the latest episode, and this episode was crazy. Man, just Homelander. First off, Homelander is ruthless and a threat, and has grown to be such a very concerning and creepy, menacing character that I don't know. I mean, it's great television, don't get me wrong, but I'm curious that when I think it's pretty obvious that Homelander has to die, but how and who will be able to do that? That's the question. That is the question. So I guess we'll see. We'll see for that. What else? I skipped what I've been playing. Let me put an audible, pull an audible, and shoot that in there. So what I've been playing. Let me get these damn codes. They never want to cooperate. So, speaking of the next gen upgrades, I did play Resident Evil 2, the PS5 version. It's hard to be honest with you, as somebody who has not played RE2 in a while. It was hard to notice like any differences, but the game aesthetically for sure looked great there. So, yeah. Yeah, overall it was fun. I utilized the high frame rate mode, which I assume is 120 hertz, but it wasn't really any comfortably accurate way to try to test that, without seeming weird. I guess I don't know. Yeah, it was a fun experience. Literally played through the whole Leon campaign. Loaded a save of Claire towards the end as well, and got my fix, at least what I believe. So, yeah. What else? Of course. The quarry dropped last week. Put some serious time into it, probably like 30-ish hours, I'd say, maybe more. But yeah, no, this game, man, this is an interesting topic to talk about, because like this game is fun on its own merit, like if you play it for the first time, but the issues start to settle in when you play it more than one time. And at least for me personally, I don't like the fact that the lack of these scenes not skipping because of that, which I guess you can blame, like, let's say hypothetically the app or whatever, but I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Yeah, my issue with the game is, my biggest issue, which I'm pretty sure has been brought up countless times, is being forced to trudge through the first part of the game where things necessarily don't really matter, and not have the option to skip to certain choices after you made a particular choice. Yeah, I just wish that was just a thing, man. I don't know. Just wished it was. I think this game would be 10 times more enjoyable if, like, let's say hypothetically, I've, talked about this on Twitter too, where if you just hypothetically have like a minimum of 3 playthroughs. So pretty much around that point, you're pretty much tested in terms of patience or whatever. And let's say if you finish them all, then the robot will offer the suggestion to you to have a kind of, I don't know, sentient robot, which I still feel very weird about. But yeah, no, it's very much in line with Until Dawn games. In terms of if I like it better, I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. Kind of tough to say. I don't know. I don't think I can really make a decision for that. But yeah. Yeah, that was my biggest gripe. I was trying to, this was like one of the first games I was trying to literally play everything, every section, to find every little variable and see how it plays out and stuff like that. But no, can't. I don't know. Tell them something else. I don't know. So that's gonna be interesting. But I definitely enjoyed this story. Plot, characters, definitely it sometimes feels a bit wonky, but hey, that's how it is. That's how it is. yeah. No, I think the quarry is pretty straightforward. So okay. Well, now that we covered that, um yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for episode 158 of Switches Sites, aka the last episode of this place I'm at currently. Again, likely 2 weeks I'll be off. Setting stuff back up, figuring stuff out, trying to solve this puzzle that is moving and things like that. So, yeah. Man, I'm borderline drowsy where stuff is not making sense, and I'll probably maybe utter that. But again, of course, thanks everybody for watching. Always greatly appreciated. If you can, give me them 5 stars, whatever. Just rate me, please. Not like the weird way, like the women want. Just the normal way that I want. What else? Did I cover everything? I think it did. Fuck. Every time I mess it up. Yeah. Well, guys, again, thank you all. Here's to another chapter. Closing one book, open another. Yeah. If you like this podcast, feel free to like, rate, subscribe to your podcast platforms. You can follow me, catch me on Twitch TV or stream Thursday evenings. The show, catch archives on youtube.com/aswitch as well. You can follow me on Twitter @aswitch. And damn. Until next time, y'all, get your damn game on. Feel free to fuck. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.